Hello, I'm Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report Friday Red Alert for September 16th. Anti-BDS movement update. Some good news to report. Abed Alamala is a member of the Jordanian Opposition Coalition, and he published an article in the Israeli Hayom newspaper on September, noting a fellow Jordanian politician's decree, Mr. Mudar Zavran, who claimed to speak for the entire Jordanian people and who has called out quite publicly the BDS movement and how evil it is. The BDS movement, he claims, is anti-Semitic and has no regard for their Palestinian brothers, who they claim to are somehow oppressed. In this particular article, various points are made, including the fact that Palestinians have safe and gainful employment by Israelis, and that Israel is on the front line of anti-terrorism for the entire region. If Israel falls, so does Jordan and Egypt, he says. For 70 years, we were taught to hate Israel, he goes on, and where has it gotten us? He then goes on to explain how Israel is a leader in not only the area, but the world for innovation, technology, farming, water usage, science and technology, medicine, and various other freedoms. The standard of living is also the best in Israel for Palestinians. The Arabs, he say, must learn from them and not hate them. He also claims that his stance on anti-BDS is not anti-Arab. In fact, it's quite the opposite, and that nobody should ever claim that he's anti-Arab. In fact, he is objective and he's looking at the truth. BDS's hatred and anti-Semitism are his words. In a powerful pushback paragraph from one of his articles, it says, and I quote, "Why does BDS never boycott Lebanon, where Palestinians are banned from working as taxi drivers? Why does it not boycott Syria, where President Bashar Assad has killed thousands of Palestinians in the Yarmouk camp?" These are some great parallels, the same parallels that many people who oppose BDS in North America and Europe also make. Politicians, both Democrat and Republican in the U.S., comedian and actors, including artists such as Matisyahu and the Eagles band leader, they all claim, well, if the Palestinians are being oppressed, why on earth are not the neighboring countries also targeted for this demonization that they are not, or that they are oppressing the Palestinians? Not only that, this article goes on to say that it is shameful that this anti-Semitism and hatred is part of their culture, and that people are taught to ignore their starving children and instead concentrate on hating Israelis and Jews. In another show of support in September was the Eagles of Death metal band's recent show in Tel Aviv. You may or may not know that this was the band that was playing in Paris during the terrorist attack last year, where 130 people were killed in a single night. Moreover, 89 of those people that were killed were attending the show performed by the Eagles of Death Metal. They were invited to play in Tel Aviv because they wanted to reach out to the people there. And on stage, the lead singer publicly denounced the BDS movement. He was citing tremendous love he has for both the nation and the people, having not known any Israelis prior to his arrival. Now, in his declaration for his love for Israel was quite passionate and quite heartfelt. Unfortunately, it was also full of language befitting a rock concert that I can't repeat. But let's just say he had a genuine affection for the people there. Jesse Hughes, this frontman for the band, literally cussed out the BDS movement on stage. He cited how awesome the Israeli music fans are and that they're often overlooked because of the, quote, aggressive tactics of the BDS movement to have musicians boycott the nation of Israel. He mentioned specifically Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, who actively lobbies artists of all kinds around the world not to perform in Israel. Roger Waters called Jesse Hughes and told him not to play in Tel Aviv. Jesse replied, "I have 2 words for you." I can't repeat those 2 words for you, but I can tell you the essence of the notion was, get lost. And there he was to honor the Israeli people and snub the BDS movement's request and play for them and enjoy his time in Israel. So between Jordanian politicians and American hard rockers, there is a wide breadth of people that are recognizing the truth of the BDS movement. Now it's important that our college students can recognize that same truth. that the boycott, divest, sanction movement is by no means trying to help the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people in the Middle East do have problems, and they do have issues, but Israel is not the cause of them. And Israel is not the scapegoat to address and boycott because of the problems with the Palestinians. In fact, Israel is one of the only mechanisms in the Middle East where the Palestinians have some avenue out of their plight. So let's all keep looking for the truth and explaining it and sharing it wherever we can. Because clearly hard rockers, comedians, politicians, everybody can see it once they fully understand it. It's just a matter of information. Shavua Tov, have a great week. Shabbat Shalom.